Morning, hello. Welcome to today's live. And today we're gonna be talking about intention. And that's interesting because this is something that shifts us from not knowing to kind of feeling like we have some, not control, but we can navigate, direct, I wanted to say, our life in a certain way, okay? Because in the beginning of a self-healing journey of you've had enough of pain or suffering, you realize that there can be another way, and you start and you change something. And in the beginning, it's all overwhelming, obviously, because with some understanding comes a lot of seeing and a lot of wisdom and seeing of lies that you have lived in before and what you have allowed to happen to you, because we know that we create our pain, we create our life. But what does it mean, create? Okay? And when we say create through our energy, this is where the mind, I would say, combines the energy and the body, where we can be the ones to put a direction instead of allowing the rest to overwhelm us and to wash us away, basically. Okay, so I'm going to give an example because I was only ready to start my AI course now and to learn about AI. I knew it was there, it was out there, but it felt like it's like another world. It will obviously change my perspective on things, but it just felt too much. And if we don't have an anchor within ourselves and we don't know what it is we want, then that stops us from it happening. We are the ones that put the direction into our lives of what we truly want. And so if we don't know what we want to use the tools for, in my case it was the AI and the possibilities that it offers, the unlimited possibilities and just like so much potential. But if we don't know how to use it, then we might get lost in it very fast and it just sweeps us away. And that's the point where it gets overwhelming, where the self-development journey gets overwhelming, or actually where life gets overwhelming. So whenever there's too much stuff coming up and everything is becoming too much, which is usually the point where we realize, okay, now I need something to change. I can't live like this, especially with chronic pain, migraines. And that initial point helps us to change, but we can learn how to have that initial point ourselves, how to have that anchor. And that anchor is an intention. How do I want to spend my days, my life? What's a priority? So it is clearing up the space of the infinite possibilities, because possibilities are great. Opinions are great. And feedback is great. But if we don't know what are our values and what is our goal, not in achieving, but more in living, how do we want to be? How do we want our reality to be? Then that's the point where it gets overwhelming. And then it starts feeling like life is just throwing more and more things at you. And you're just surviving. You're just getting on with it and just trying to swim in the sea of stuff. But with an intention where I decide what is a priority and what I don't accept, how my comfort zone is going to look, what is within that comfort zone. Okay, so for example, where taking care of myself and taking care of my energy becomes a priority. So where this becomes a priority, there you can't have it not being the priority at the same time. Okay? And the intention helps me navigate this, that this is my priority. For example, a harmonious day in flow and a peaceful day and pain-free day is the priority. Therefore, I don't allow rest to overwhelm me, and I set the boundary of how much stuff it's enough for me today to receive and give. And this is where, with the intention, also I would say aligns a plan of our life, if you want to plan or not plan, or stop planning if you're over planning, if you're using how you're using your energy and your time. Therefore, you have some capacity of time and energy also. This is what we often forget. And you have a month of time, okay? But then, if we use it in a way where it will, in result, overwhelm us, and we book in every single session, and we book in every single activity, and we say yes, 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 yes to more stuff, then without the primary intention, what is it that I want in my month? How do I want to spend that month? How do I want to feel in that month? Right? What is the priority of me? What do I want to experience? Then without that intention of intention to me is more just acknowledgement that I navigate my life and I say, where's the boundary? I say, this doesn't resonate with me. It's not aligned with me. And that's too much and I don't want that. Therefore, instead of that, I plan into my schedule a day of rest, the day of doing nothing, the day of boredom even, the day of being fully present. Okay? And this intention, okay, at first, before we become aligned with it, and before we know it by just feeling into it, that we're always doing what is aligned with us. Sometimes we have the tendency to overbook ourselves, be over present for others, be over available. Okay? So in the beginning, it's good to make an intention as your daily practice, as your daily habit. Really, first thing when you wake up, it didn't work for me like this, but I needed some time. I needed to wake up, have some kind of routine of what I do, what's a priority for me. And then when my mind kind of starts going, then I want to sit down with a journal and think about what is important today for me in my life. What do I want to live today? Okay. How do I want to feel? What do I want to learn? What do I want to give? What do I want to receive? On every single day basis or on a monthly basis. And then the combination of your intentions then results in creating your reality. How you plan, basically, or not plan, okay, but when you plan, then you are consciously changing, maybe that you have been overbooking yourself and not allowing yourself some space. And the opposite of the planning would be going with the flow, but that again brings you back to the anchor inside you that always tells you hello, that always brings you back, and always this is aligned with me or this is not aligned with me. This is what I do want, and this is what I don't want. Okay, and that there has the space, the intention that defines from wherever life is dragging us and we feel overwhelmed and it's too much. There's just too much stuff coming up, instead of creating in alignment, creating like, yeah, this makes the higher sense for me. If I do this, then probably either I'll feel better or I'll help guide someone else, or it all comes back to how you feel, and that reflects in the other people. Then the overwhelm, if we don't deal with it within ourselves and we don't set our boundaries and our intentions, we don't prioritize within ourselves, we don't step into that power, then we see this resonating around us. We see how it resonates in the people around us and what they tell us. For example, when they tell us, when they make fun of what we're doing, or they belittle what we're doing, but that's only you not appreciating that what you're doing already is enough, and the way you're planning it, if it's good enough for you, then it's the right way. Then it's the way what will work, okay, in the sustainable way, because the self-healing journey is about a sustainable approach. It's never gonna be about, yeah, this works for now. Today, I'm gonna force myself to do it, if it's intention or not intention, aligned or not aligned. I'm just gonna force myself even if I really, really don't want and I'd rather be doing something else. Okay? But then it's not gonna be sustainable, because if it drains your energy, then you won't be able to maintain it. You'll always be coming back to, is this the right for me? Okay, you will always get to that burnout, to that phase of that's too much. And then you change the schedule. Usually after a migraine, we change the schedule. We adapt to things. We see the priorities more clearly. Okay, but when it's building up until that point where it's calling us to take rest, to slow down, to have the priority of yourself. But usually then we don't listen. But if we do, and we decide to put the intention instead of what it seems like we should be doing, and the overwhelm, especially if we're beginning in an overwhelming situation where we feel like we need to do that, work on that, and take care of that, okay, then it's already an overwhelming situation to the beginning. And with the intention, with specifying what is a priority for me today, this week, this month, you go forward only doing those things that are priority for you. I'm sorry, I'm reading, preparing for an entrance exam. Sometimes I have to push. So I have a question here. Hello. Preparing for an entrance exam, but sometimes I feel I'm losing to it. Like sometimes I have to push myself too hard to study. This is a great question, because especially if we're overwhelmed and if we're pushing ourselves too hard in that situation, then we won't probably achieve the goal. And actually, what happens when we push ourselves and we push ourselves too hard, usually, unfortunately, we switch into procrastinating. So with the guilt of, I should be studying, I should be doing this exact thing, we actually switch into procrastinating, and then with the feeling of, I at least must be doing something, so then we either do another activity or go scrolling or look for help, seek for help outside, But then always, 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 you need to come back to yourself and really, really deeply meditate on with yourself. And what is it that will really, really help you in that situation? What will really help you in that next hour if you don't have so much time ahead of you and there's some pressure coming up? Great, then that's great. So you ask yourself, what is the priority? What if I go to sleep for 1 hour, or even sleep without an alarm, and then with this restored energy, or I go have a good food, or I have I don't know, even cleaning your space might help you, or go for a walk. Step aside from it, because always if we're blocking the energy and closing it, then actually it will just outburst into some release of the tension, but usually it might be like frustration, anger, some emotions. It might be even a migraine, because if something is important to us, then it outbursts into something we don't really want. Okay, so the best thing to do in a situation where you're pushing yourself really hard to something, of course, what's the bigger picture? Achieving that exam, or passing that test, or building a new online course, or whatever. That's the bigger picture. But how am I going to achieve it? Because the actions to go towards it, we always know inside what are the right things to do. We always know. Okay, so asking ourselves is always a good idea, but sometimes when we're overwhelming and we think with our mind instead of with the complex combination of our intuition and our body and everything, then that's the system we need to really ask for, the bigger sustainable picture. Because only the mind and only thinking it out won't probably lead us there. Because we do need to restore the energy. We do need to work with it consciously. We need to provide our body with good nutrition for it to work for us, and the mind also. We need to be cleansing our mind. We need to take care of all these aspects, for then the bigger the system then works for us to achieve the bigger picture, the goal where we're heading. Okay, so always we know inside what is it that we need to do, but there will be speaking intuition, which knows what we need to do. Probably it will invite you to rest, or to take a break, or to go for a walk, and then with that refreshed mind you come back to it. But then also, as I spoke about this another time, and I will make a video about this also, about fear, because it's so important, that it can be, the intuition can be sometimes covered with fear, and the fear guides us to like false action, which would guide us to for example, procrastination again, or yes, I go for a walk, but I keep thinking about the stuff. I keep analyzing stuff with my mind. But no, we go for a walk, and I go for a walk and I'm present there. I'm present on the walk, or I take a meditation and I'm present with my thoughts. And that is the cleansing the mind. That is going through the mind and all the overwhelming stuff and just being there with it, not analyzing it, allowing it to flow through, allowing it to flow through, and not judging it, not clinging to it. Okay, because then we can achieve the higher result. Because, for example, our lives and our businesses, or our jobs, or our families, our relationships, and everything consists of so many things. Okay, but those are, we need to break it down to small things that together create our energy, restore our energy. and keep us in the good vibes. We can be in good vibes all the time if we allow ourselves to have the rest and to have what we need, whatever is we need to restore our energy. And this then takes us ahead. This is where we get ahead of the others around us, or ahead of even ourselves. Okay, but that takes us outside of the comfort zone, but brings us towards what we do want. I go for a walk, but all the time I just think about my exam. Yeah. So this is the second thing. This is the fear. Okay, but we need to be there with the fear. We need to assure the fear. You can even talk to your fear. You need to be there with it and talk to it and assure it that it's okay. Everyone has it. Everyone has these doubts. Everyone has the fear that usually the fear of failing, fear of disappointment or failure. But unfortunately, the more we support our attention towards the fear of failing, the more we support that it will manifest into a failure in our life. We must change the mindset, and this is where the intention comes in. You can use the intention also in affirmations, where you instead put in your mind affirmations. Of course I'm gonna pass. Of course I'm gonna do well on my exam. Of course I'm gonna achieve what I want to achieve. You need to create that supportive space in your mind for yourself. Those are the intentions of the everyday life, where you need to become your biggest supporter and allow yourself to trust that all is well, you're taken care of. Your life is always there to support you. Whatever you want is here for you. You wouldn't be wanting it if you wouldn't be able to have it. So if it's there presenting itself to you, then it's possible for you. Therefore, you need to be the one assuring yourself, of course this is possible for me, and if it doesn't work out, then you know there's something better waiting. Always the best is waiting for you, but you must learn how to be there for yourself and how to support yourself and allow yourself to even wait for the good things. Be patient enough for the better to come, because whatever breaks in our lives, whatever doesn't work in our lives, isn't supposed to be there. Whatever breaks and is not working in our lives isn't a part of our priorities, isn't supposed to be there for us. So it breaks actually for you to realize what are the priorities, to set an intention, the phone calling, to set an intention and to go towards how you want to live it. But this confidence is not consistent, man. Whenever I see the cutoff, all my courage and confidence goes to drain every single time. It takes practice. Definitely, it takes practice. Confidence is not something you have or are given. Okay, when I, maybe a year ago, imagining myself speaking on a live and having my words and my energy here on my Instagram saved for anyone to see would be unimaginable. But I did take the steps and I did enter a mastermind, and I learned confidence is not something you're given, like here it is. I didn't have it, but it's something you learn and you build up. But the great thing is about confidence and about working with your mind. That's why I love it so much. It's because the more you support yourself, then one day it's gonna click. Obviously not for the first months or so, maybe. Even it might, but not, maybe not. But one day your mind clicks, and it's so funny, those moments where your mind starts supporting you. When you consciously learn how to support yourself and set those intentions every single day, just like a robotically going, then one day the mind starts saying, yeah, you can do this. Like, yeah, come on, let's do this live. Let's inspire others. Let's teach about what I have learned for myself, or how I have learned to work with my pain. Because when I started working with my pain, it was unimaginable for me to share it with someone, to even ask for help, to even be supported with someone. And today I have a great group of women around me, and I'm surrounded by great supportive people, but that wasn't my reality. That was the confidence, and your reality is something you build, but you need to understand that you can always change it. You can always change the way it is. And whoever isn't meant to be there, or whatever thoughts, this goes to the thoughts also, whatever isn't meant for you, then it will leave. But in the beginning, we have stuck it on because we have created our comfort zone. And this is what I talked about in the other life with fear also, because we have learned even pain. It's our comfort zone. A chronic pain is something we experience. It's a layer of fear, and it's something we know. But of course, at first, confidence will be something unknown. It will be something new. And you will be supporting yourself maybe for the first time. Maybe you will be the first one in your ancestral line to support yourself. You are the one who has this wisdom now, who has this awareness. You now have the information from me that you can, because I was exactly also not confident and didn't think I could ever be. But you can build it, and you can be the first one in your family, in your ancestral line, who allows yourself to be confident, who allows yourself to have only good things happening to you. Or you can have, these are all the affirmations what you need to build up your mind with, because before, if it doesn't know any good thoughts, if your mind is a database that consists of negative thoughts and discouragement, and that you feel like you don't matter, then obviously this is how it's going to act and react and continue acting. But you need to be the one putting only good thoughts in it and saying, everything works out for me. Life is amazing. My life is only amazing. Every day I experience only nice and amazing things. Everything that happens to me is better, and with everything it multiplies. Everything good multiplies for me, and things like that. And yes, sometimes it happens in my other works, like I have this page for graphics designing or editing. I've not learned editing somewhere, I just learned it myself and randomly. Yeah, that's great. You can learn whatever you want. Created this page one day. Now I was not afraid of any failure. In fact, I started getting some clients here. Well, yeah, you can. That's the crazy thing, that sometimes it seems that, yeah, confidence or anything, because this comes sometimes from trauma and like a scar of the inner child. I work also a lot with the inner child, and I'm probably gonna have another live sometime for it. I'm not sure how my schedule is, but working with the inner child basically means healing something that happened in our childhood. From, let's say, 0 to 7 is a phase, and then from 7 to 21 years, we have these phases we go through, and the development of our mind goes through something, and we absorb all the limiting beliefs, and we have a database of beliefs, and we act accordingly. Okay, so if we have believed that we can't learn anything, that we don't have talent for something, these are all limiting beliefs Having talent is a very small portion of what you actually need to do things. You can do whatever you want and you can learn whatever you want only with your decision. Okay? And the intention can be a great tool of this. Your intention must be, my life is amazing, every day is amazing, everything in my life works out for me. I trust life and it will always catch me when I'm falling. Whatever I do is supporting me and opening my mindfulness and my awareness, opening my mind, everything. And I trust that I always get the right information, the right people in my energy levels, and everything that will be coming will be only good. But we need to believe this. If we haven't believed it, then it will not be happening. It will always be happening the other way. And no one thanks to God for all things, but yeah, of course, we have these moments where it doesn't seem amazing. This is not. I'm not saying. What I want also to guide you is where your life isn't amazing. My life wasn't as amazing as this at all. My life was terrible and I felt like a victim of my life and I felt really, really terrible. This is actually why I started this journey. Why I didn't start it as an inspiration to anyone else. I did it for myself, to heal myself. Everything was going wrong. I was in terrible pain. And I was really desperate and suffering. I had a horrible time, a horrible relationship, horrible unsupportive people around me. Everything horrible was happening. But this is what I'm saying. Along the way, obviously, it doesn't happen overnight. But I'm telling you now that you are the only one who can change this horrible reality to an amazing one by deciding to listen to your intuition, to even discover there is an intuition inside you, to understanding yet you can have anything you want to have. You can have whatever you want to have in your life, but you must be the one creating the opportunities for you, creating the changes, making the hard decisions, setting up boundaries, stepping out of what doesn't work, of toxic relationships, of uncomfortableness, and allowing also life to help you, because usually also when we have a hard time and a lot of bad things and dramatic situations are happening, we are actually the source of why it's happening, because we have a limiting belief that we deserve it. But we don't deserve anything bad. Your intentions are good, but you need to believe, if they are good, but you need to believe that you deserve the very best. And this is only you who can convince yourself of this. We are all connected, we're all part of the whole, therefore we have same possibilities, we have same opportunities, because we create our opportunities. And whoever doesn't have these opportunities and feels lost and very suffering and everything like that, I was that person. I thought there's no way out. I thought it will be my end. But after the end came a new beginning, complete shift of what I was doing in life and how I was behaving. Everything had to change in order for me to understand also that I create my reality. I can change whatever I want to change, but I need to take responsibility for my emotions, what I feel, how I feed my body, how much money, what I do with my money, the relationship I have with money. And everything is a relationship between you and your body, between you and your mind, between you and money, between you and people. It's all same energy, but you must go step by step on healing all of these relationships. Intentions can greatly help with you, because that's the decision. It starts with the decision. I decide that anything is possible for me. I decide that I will have an amazing life. Today I can change only one thing, and it will be the first step towards my new life. And I think we'll leave it at that because we're already 11:35. Thank you for being here. Thank you for these comments of, I don't know what your name is, but you can DM me later if you have any more questions. And tomorrow we have a new next live at 11. It will be about people pleasing and something like that. So let's see, and I hope to see you there. And thank you, and I'll save this on my page so you can rewatch it later.